everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to give a few seconds for everyone to join us on this live stream. We do apologize for the delay. Just a few technical difficulties. Just getting started. Right now, we are a go. We're just going to wait a few seconds, a few minutes for everyone to jump in and just kind of have more people in the room so we can interact, talk, and discuss more. You guys are welcome to ask questions after the quick demo. We can have also a developer here who's also going to be open for questions, and I'll relay them to you. So it'll be quite exciting class or tutorial today. So again, thank you everyone for joining us today. Just give it about 2 more minutes, and we'll get started with the class. Thank you everyone for joining us today. All right, I see a couple of questions there already. So thank you for asking those questions. Just keep them coming. We'll save those questions for after the session. I'll have a couple of questions. I'll answer a few of them while I do the quick class, and just hang on tight there. So just 1 more minute and we'll get started. And thank you again, Sal, for watching this live stream video. I really appreciate a couple of fans out there. Sal, you're contacting us from Argentina, I believe. So quite exciting to have people from international joining us. All right. All right, everyone. So we can go ahead and get started with this live stream. And thank you again for joining us today. So thank you for joining us today, this live stream of Perception Neuron. We are obviously using a new little set here for you guys. We always look forward to doing these live streams for you guys. It's been quite some time since we did our last one, and we haven't forgot about you. We've been doing a lot of road shows, a lot of conferences, and just meeting with a lot of companies one-to-one. And I never forget about our users who are not close to us, but we want to be in contact with you guys through this live stream. So we're more than happy to do this with you guys and gals. So all right, so we'll go ahead and jump into my quick slideshow. I don't want to bore you guys too much with talking. Let's go straight to the slideshows. So going forward with this presentation, I wanted to show you guys a few things here with the presentation. Of course, as always, what I like to tell everyone is don't forget our support email. All our users there who have our suits, who have questions, or anybody who's interested in motion capture, don't know where to get started, make sure you email us at contact@neuronmocap.com. That is the best format of communication, and we'll reach out to you within 24 to 48 hours. Obviously, we have a help center there. Don't forget about the help center. Check out the help center for any questions. Most asked questions. We have a lot of information, a lot of documentation, how to set up cameras, how to set up the system, how to calibrate. So a lot of cool things out there for many users. If you don't see anything out there, let us know. Email us, and we'll add it there to the help center so that we can help a lot of other users. We have a growing community, and it's always good to know the most common questions so that we can help everyone out there who's using the suit, Perception Neuron. Of course, as this video we're doing live, make sure you check us out on YouTube. Our channel, NEURON MOCAP, spelled with 1 M, of course, in between. We have a lot of videos there. We're going to be changing a couple of videos. We're going to be adding new videos as well, updating, adding, and just improving a little bit more on the tutorial side so that the classes, the videos can be much more streamlined. Of course, this is all for our users. Of course, when you have your suit, make sure you register your hardware so you can get access to your software. Remember, all our software, Access Neuron and plugins, Unity, Unreal, are included with every suit. All you have to do is just make sure you register on our website, and you'll get the access afterwards. So we have that available for you guys out there, just a matter of registering. Going to the beginning of the slide here. So today's short class is augmented reality. What is augmented reality? Now, I pulled this off from the internet when you ask Google, define augmented reality. A technology that superimposes a computer-generated image on a user's viewer of real world, thus providing a composite view. So essentially, you have something that it's not for, there's different formats of AR. Either you can view it through a tablet, through Magic Leap, or anything that has, you're able to superimpose something, or what I like to call composite, something that's 3D into a real world. So that's essentially AR. There's tons of different formats. You have iPad formats where you can view a building, a room, different architectural, different 3D models, for example. So a lot of them come in handy because it gives you a different feeling of what you're looking at or what's going on. There's also phone apps, Google Maps, for example, where you can track, real world images, and it'll project information onto your phone, for example. So there's different formats of AR. Of course, it's just a matter of compositing a 3D image or 3D image or something onto real world, essentially. For today's class, we're going to be using VUFORIA plus Unity with our Perception Neuron kit. There's different kinds of different components that you can add on for AR. VUFORIA is obviously the much easier one because it's actually included in every Unity. So when you download Unity and you install the package, it asks you if you want to include VUFORIA. VUFORIA is an AR application that you can add 3D assets into your, either through a phone application or through your webcam application, whatever your camera is coming from. So VUFORIA is quite flexible and it's quite easy. You can use it on if you have Unity, you can install that and you have that access to it right away. So I wanted to show you a couple of videos of what we've been doing in the last 2 months. And I want to go straight into the videos. The last 2 months we've been doing a lot of demos for augmented reality, and I just want to show you guys what we've been playing around with, and I'm going to show you how to set up a project like this, for example. So in front of you, you see a video of us we're using a logo as a template, as a target system, so that we can tell the camera and the application, AR application, to put a 3D object in there. Many times we see 3D buildings, we see static objects, and you can have interaction with the object. Maybe you can rotate it, maybe you can kind of see different spaces of that. So that's kind of like what's been going on with AR. Recently we've been curious, like, what if you put mocap? What if you put motion data from somebody who's performing, somebody who's doing a performance, talking to you, an avatar, for example. So we did a little bit of experimentation here at our in-house with Neudom, and this is a quick video of what it looks like when you have the application running. So as you can see here, this is 3 characters. We're obviously using our suit here. This is a sample file that's coming out of our Axis Neuron software. You can see that the tracking, it's using the logo as the target information. So this could be anything, really. It could be a QR code, it could be your logo, you could mark it as something really unique, something that you want to catch people's eyes, anything you want. For this example, we're obviously using Perception Neuron Pro as our target image, and we're showcasing that for everyone out there. So that's kind of what we're going to be showing you later today. Also, in recent news, we've had our close partner, VIP partner, Gaspar Ferreiro, actually integrate our suit with Magic Leap, for example. Magic Leap, we all know that it's an AR headset that lets you interact with 3D objects in your real world, with using motion sense and target, and it's quite unique hardware for you to use when you're interacting with objects in the real world. So imagine adding motion capture suit, Perception Neuron to Magic Leap. So this is kind of a quick demo, a visual demo that was showcased in earlier this conference for LeapCon, and it shows a lot of the usage that you can have. And to be honest, you can have fun with it. For this example, they're just having someone, you can see here, this is Professor James Martin, who's also an iClone, teacher, and also he's also out of Georgia State University as a teacher there. And you can see that they're experimenting with motion capture inside of the Magic Leap. So the idea is endless. How do you put the human body form into AR? And then you can have somebody perform somewhere else, and then have that person's body motion be either a princess, an astronaut, you name it, anything it could be. So that's kind of like the quick video demos that I wanted to show you. And I wanted to go ahead and start showing you how to build up the project. Now, before I get started, I want to go into the questions and see if there's any other questions before we go ahead. And so, all right, we have a few fans out here who are joining us. Thank you for joining us again, guys. We always look forward to seeing everyone out here. So any chance for adding finger tracking for support for Notch? We'll leave that question for afterwards. But thank you for bringing that question up. So we'll go ahead and get started with the Unity project. For this example, we're going to be using Unity 2017. It could be 2018. We're just using 2017 because that's a stable version. So first things first, I'm going to create a scene. Of course, one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that you have to create an account inside of VUFORIA. Just go into VUFORIA's developer portal, create an account, and that gives you access to two most important things. You get access to the license manager, where they gave you the API key, and you also have the target manager, where essentially we put the logo for Perception Neuron Pro as a target. So VUFORIA is a cloud application where it exports the data so that it can work in AR as a target information. So that's very important to make sure you guys create an account. We already have an account, so we don't want to walk step by step on that action. But we'll get started now. So when you open up Unity, the first thing you want to do is you want to set up the VUFORIA. So you go into project settings, go into player, and already I have VUFORIA augmented reality supported enabled. By default, Unity does not have this enabled, so I'll just uncheck it, and it tells me to remove files. I don't want to remove files because they're already in the project, so I'll just keep it, I should keep it enabled. So keep that enabled, VUFORIA augmented reality supported, very important, so you can get started. The next thing you want to do is go into game object. Once you add VUFORIA, you have the information that you can add here with VUFORIA. The first thing you want to do is add the AR camera. And good rule of thumb, remove the main camera. You don't want the AR function to be confused with just a regular camera, 3D camera. You want it to use an AR camera. So that is the most important portion with the camera. Now, when you look at the information here, you have the camera information. A lot of information we don't need as for this presentation. There's a lot of documentation to go if you have any more questions. But what I want you to focus is go into Open VUFORIA configuration. And this is where you want to configure three most important things: your API license, the database for the target information, and the camera that you're going to be using, right? So by default, you're going to get, and my apologies as this is already populated, when you get the application open and you add in the AR camera, this is going to be empty. I'm going to go ahead and go into our account, and I'm going to go to the license manager, and we have AR book. This is just a book, just an example thing that we have here on our website. I'm going to copy the API key and just copy that into the license key there. Add the license. That activates the information there. It's already activated. Let me just do that one more time just in case. All right. So that's ready to go. The next thing you want to do is, by default, this is going to be disabled. I'm going to leave it like this because you need to do one more thing before we enable that function. The next thing you want to do is make sure enable video background is enabled. Then the next thing is the web camera. We're using a web camera for this example. I'm using a Logitech 1080p camera here for this example. Just to let you know, we're going to be showing documentation. We're going to share documentation with you guys on how to set up with the Android phone. Everyone has the Android phone, Google phone, Samsung phone. So we'll give you documentation after this video. So next thing I'm going to do is select the HD Pro web camera C920, most common camera everyone uses. So that's ready to go. And then the next thing I want to do is add the target. Of course, we need to know what image it needs to recognize so it can put the 3D assets into it. So I'm going to select, and sorry I did that really quick, just go into VUFORIA, camera image target. Once you add that, it's going to pop it into the scene. The next thing you want to do is select user defined here on, you're going to see the image type behavior on the script. This is where you're going to be selecting, hey, where is the target image that I need to look for when we're looking for image recognition. So it's saying user defined, we're going to go ahead and do predefined, okay? So it's asking for a database. So where we're going to get that information is by going to the target manager on a VUFORIA platform. We already have several images already in place. You can see we've been testing out a few. PN Pro logo is the one that we've actually been testing out. So once you upload, you can add multiple targets. You know, you can add images, different assets. This one's already been added for us. So I will go ahead and select, and you want to download the database. So you have different options. What I'll go ahead and do is select on Unity Editor so I can import into my Unity project. So I'll go ahead and click on download. And so this is where VUFORIA does for you. It does all the compiling for the AR target for your image. And then once that's done, next thing you want to do is, for example, let's go into the assets, make sure I'm dropping this in here. And I'm going to go to the downloads folder, and I'm going to click and drag that file into my project there. And it's going to ask, you know, there's XML data, there's .dat files information. All this information is very important for the AR camera to recognize that target. So I'm going to import that. Okay. So once I import that into my project, it's already in my project folder. And then now I can go into the image target, and I can select on a database. Remember, we're downloading the database target. And then now I can see the AR book database that I just downloaded and I just added to my project. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And you'll see that it populates it into the scene right away. So this is good reference of where, you know, the progress that we're doing so far. So as far as image target goes, everything is looking good. I'm just making sure predefined is selected. My database is good. The image target is fine. Everything is looking good. And then I'm going to go back into the AR camera, and we're going to go revisit where we were at before. And then we're going to look at the database target this time. So I'm going to select the AR book database that we just imported. And you want to make sure you hit activate. Just before this video call, I had a little bit struggle trying to get it to work. We all are creatures of habit, and maybe we don't pay attention to the small details, but you always have to make sure these functions are enabled. So make sure that you select load AR book database and then you activate it. So that's very important. So far everything's good. API key is good to go. My database target is activated. I'm using the HD web camera, and we're good to go. So far so good. So the next thing we want to do is we can add a cube, we can add a cylinder, we can add architecture all we want, and we'll get the typical capturing that we always get. But in this demo, of course, we want to throw in the mocap. So let's throw in the mocap. We have already a character here ready to go. This is a character from Mixamo. Everyone's comfortable with Mixamo. Make sure when you import the character from Mixamo that you select an animation type under the rake tab, that you select humanoid and then configure. That is the only requirement that we have with our plugin, so don't forget that. So once that's ready, I'm going to go ahead and click and drag the character into my scene, and there he is. He's populated into the scene. And then the next important thing is you need to parent this object under the image target. So we're going to put it as a child here under the image target. Okay, so you can see that in your screen that we have already made a connection from the image target to the 3D character. That establishes the relationship whenever the AR camera is looking for that image. So next things first, the character is ready to go. What I need to do to connect Access Neuron to this character, we have already imported our plugin from our website, neuronmocap.com. So you go into Neuron folders, go to the mocap, and then go into Neuron Animator Instance. When you click into this script, all you have to do is click and drag into the character. I like to do that as a form of habit of mine, but also you can go in, you can click on your character and go to components. You can type in instance, and then it'll pop up for you as well. So I've added the script to my character. He's ready to go, but there's still a few more options that I need to do. I have Access Neuron Pro. We're going to be demoing Perception Neuron Pro for this video. I'm just going to make sure everything's running good. I have an IP on my computer, TCP enabled. I have BVH enabled with server port 7001. We all know that. And the next thing I want to do is make sure everything's working good. Everything's looking good so far. And don't forget to hit connect to Access. Once that's ready, we're almost ready to go. So everything's checked out. Make sure there's no hiccups. There might be something. Let's cross our finger. Everything should be working good. And I should be able to hit play. And remember, I am testing this feature with a web camera. So it's not going to be the perfect quality. Let's see here if it gets, there we go. That's a character being tracked on my Perception Neuron Pro logo here. So we're going to turn it up a notch a little bit, and my apologies on the VUV textures. They're inverted for this presentation, but the idea is there. So let's pause this video here, and I have someone with the motion capture suit already ready to go. I will go back to Access Neuron Pro, and I'm going to hit connect. And we want to show you guys that this is live. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the sensors for him. So we are using 17 sensors for this suit. And let me check the headset. All right, perfect. So good to go. Good to go. So all lights are green right now. Click connect. So let's give that a minute to connect to the suit. All right, first time we're connecting for the day. What's the first thing we gotta do, guys? Select the body size. Ray, you're 180 centimeters. We have a preset for male for 180 centimeters height. And we're gonna go ahead and do the calibration. You could do the calibration over there. So he's gonna go ahead and walk in place. We're gonna do the calibration. And initiate a calibration, A, T, and S pose. A pose. T pose. S pose. Okay, there we go. So this is live data right now. You can see this is being streamed out in front of us. So this is live, and then I'm gonna go jump into the project again. I'm gonna hit play. And then let's give it a time to, there we go. So you can see that this is live right now. He's doing, and my apologies about the UV texture. I forgot to put them correctly inside of Unity. My apology, guys. But this is the idea of how to set up a quick AR with VUFORIA, Unity, and Perception Neuron. You can use Perception Neuron version 1, Perception Neuron version 2, and Perception Neuron Pro as well. We're all using the same communication TCP protocol to our plugin. So this is live. This is amazing. Imagine having somebody behind the scenes controlling a princess. I can make him a princess if I wanted to. I can switch him over to a monster if I wanted to. I could do a lot of different. I could just have fun with this. So this is a good idea. Just kind of like putting, giving you guys ideas of how to set this up, and you guys can have fun with this. All the plugins that I just showed you are up for grabs. Their Unity plugin for Perception Neuron is out there. VUFORIA is included. Unity obviously is available for free out there. So this is all available for everyone to play with. So great stuff, guys. Great stuff. So I'm gonna switch over to a couple of questions. For anyone that's out there has any questions regarding this, any technical questions, more than welcome to bring them along. And it's tracking quite well. Look at that. And my apologies about the UV, guys. I'm so sorry. But you get the idea with Avatar and the controlling of this is quite awesome integration with a lot of users out there. Look at that. It's kind of like sneak up on him. Be like, hey, what's going on, man? Anyways, I'm having too much fun here. So I'll go ahead and pause this so that I can jump in on the questions and just kind of talk to you about what's going on. So a couple of questions here. I'm running PN1, tossing up between upgrade PN2, waiting to hear anything about Hi5 VRGov Integration Pro. So one of the most important questions from one of our users is Perception Neuron Pro adding the glove integration. We will have glove integration in Perception Neuron Pro coming soon. This is one of the most requested features for our Perception Neuron Pro suits. That will be available within a few months, not weeks, a few months, but we'll keep you guys posted on that. And again, it'll be one of a kind as a unified system. A lot of suits out there are using Frankenstein, where they're using the mocap suit, and then you have to add on another glove to get the data. We're not going to do that. We're going to be using a unified system with the fingers, and then that data is going to be going through Axis Neuron Pro, and you can send that data to Motion Builder plugin or any the plugin if it's developed with the finger features as well. Right now, Notch does not have support for full finger. We are tentatively waiting for that feature for Notch. A lot of users who don't know Notch is one of our close partners software out there that we use real-time particle systems. Right now it just supports paddle hands, but we're tentatively waiting for that upgrade. So yes, there will be an add-on for glove for Pro soon, within months. Any other questions? How do I tell if I have V1 or V2 of the system? So the difference between version 1 and version 2 of the Perception Neuron systems, both of them, of course, they're cabled system. They're like a chained system sensors. The biggest difference is the adding with Perception Neuron version 2. We added a new snap and lock system, and we also upgraded the straps to be less movement prone. They have gel on the back so that they don't move on the skin very well, and they don't move much on the clothing. With version 1, we don't have the gel system to stabilize the movements, and the sockets are built in with the strap holder essentially. So I guess if you want to look at it from a bullseye view, V2 has the gel and back of the straps, V1 does not. That's all. That's the biggest difference. Are you going to be New York NAB convention? Unfortunately not. We are trying to go to as much conventions, conferences to speak to all our users. Unfortunately, we won't be going to New York NAB. We will be attending 2 events this coming month. We will be attending LDI. So our users who are live producers, DJs that are going to LDI in Las Vegas, we will be there. will be in DC Expo in Japan. That's one of our next events in coming November. And then for December, we're also going to be going to SIGGRAPH Tokyo. So if you're in Tokyo area, Japan, make sure you guys visit us. And December, I believe it's between 5 and 7. I could be wrong, 5 and 7. That's when the SIGGRAPH Tokyo will be. So we're quite busy. Those are the big 3 events that we're going to be going to the next couple of months. Next question. Are there any further updates planned for the Axis Neuron software? Not major updates. We're considering small features like batch export, a little bit, small little features that we're looking into. There's small bugs in there. If you have any suggestions that we should fix, send us an email so that we can send that over to our engineers so that we can put that in consideration. But we're doing small updates. I think obviously with addition with a glove, there's going to be a major update for the software because there's a different data that's going through. So there's different, what the engineers like to say is different algorithms that need to be put in place for that to work correctly. So that is coming along. Any plans for Maya plugin? I can make my. So one of the biggest requests for the past couple of years is Maya. Unfortunately, we have not had much request for Maya. Now, keep in mind, we try to support as much software as we can. We gauge with the audience of what is the most requested. We have found that a lot of studios, when they are exporting the data from a mocap solution, they bring it into Motion Builder, they edit, clean it up, retarget it, and then bring it into Maya. Very small studios that we have found that we've engaged with have said that they required Maya, direct to Maya recording. Unfortunately, it has not been a priority. It's been pushed back. Right now, there is no intent to include Maya right now. If, for example, if there's a petition community out there that wants Maya, we will consider. Unfortunately, right now, there's not much of a big community for the direct to Maya plugin. So my apologies on that one. So Brenton asked a question, will PN with hand tracking builds for Unity work with the new gloves and Pro, or will this likely require Unity rebuild? It'll be essentially the same thing. So the way it works is Axis Neuron and Axis Neuron Pro. They're all using, under the hood, they're using, let's say for example, as a vehicle, they're all using different engines to make the car go forward. The road is still the same. That data is going to be transferred over to your third-party program the same way. So if we add the glove to the Perception Neuron Pro, we're still using the same Neuron Data Reader SDK that's been developed 2 years ago to be used in third-party software. So when the glove comes in and you have a Unity build, it'll still work, which has been great for a lot of developers. They haven't had to do any updates. We're just using the same data transfer. That's been great for Unity developers. That's been great for Notch developers. It's been great for throughout all our community. So we're not planning on changing that transfer data rate, which is what I like to call the road to that third-party plugin. So that'll stay the same. So any other questions here? I'm gonna wrap up, and I don't want to keep everyone for too long. I'm so excited to share the AR with mocap. It's been one of the biggest requests out there from a lot of studios that we visited, and it's quite easy to set up. After this video, I'm gonna be adding a documentation on how to set up the same mocap information with an Android phone. Our developer here, Ray, has added the documentation, put the information for everyone who's curious about that. Obviously, today in this video, we did the HD web camera for you. You could do the same workflow with an Android, just a few more steps, obviously. But it is possible. Again, just make sure that after this video is done, you take a look at the I'll put it in a Google Drive so everyone can have access to it and they can look at the file. And then if you have any additions, any questions, requirements that you might have, let us know. We can change the documentation, but it's pretty straightforward when connecting the mocap data with VUFORIA for Android. So that's sums up the whole class for today. So I think that is all for today. I want to thank everyone who joined us. I had a good questions today, a lot of interest, a lot of viewers today. I'm very excited for that. We're going to try to keep doing this every week. If you guys have any suggestions for videos for us to do, pass them along, email us, and we'll keep you guys posted. So another question here from Brenton. Do you have any advice for live environments where there's a lot of magnetic interference? Is there anything that you can suggest to minimize impact? So with Perception Neuron 1.0, what I like to do is I use a phone app. I have a tutorial video, but every Android phone has a magnetic meter. I have one that it's free that I downloaded, and what I like to do is I survey the area, make sure that it is 40 microtussles or below. Once I find 40 microtussles or below, that's where I'm going to do my posture calibration. So the posture calibration relies on that clean area. I like to call the bubble, the posture calibration bubble. Once you do the calibration there, the sensors are reset, they're ready to go, and you can perform freely like that. There's locations, for example, in Japan that we've done demos where the buildings are made out of these magical things so that, because of the earthquakes. What you can do is, and my apologies here because we had disconnected the suit. On Access Neuron, obviously right now I'm in Access Neuron Pro, but this feature is also available in Access Neuron for Perception Neuron version 1. If you go into full function, if you can, I just want to make sure you guys are looking at my desktop. Cool. So my desktop is there. Just if you go to parameters, you can enable anti-mag on feet, and so what that does, it removes the magnetometer from the feet, which causes that drift or that that data to be interrupted. So you can enable the feet, and that'll disable the magnetometers on the feet. And then obviously you would do this after you do the posture calibration. So select your body size, do your posture calibration. If you have a high magnetic field in your area that the sensors are drifting, select on feet after you do the posture calibration, and then you can perform. So then that'll help you out a lot when your performance, because I know when somebody's dancing, they're moving a lot and there might be some drift that you don't want. So that's kind of a big helpful tip that I can give for you out there. And always just make sure the sensors are calibrated. Some sensors do get magnetized. Pay attention to the sensors on the LEDs on the sensors. When you're doing motion captures, if the sensors are flashing, that means that the environment's good. If the sensors are blinking 3 hertz, that means there's something in the area that's causing the sensor to do unwanted movement. I do have a video called Know Your Sensors. Make sure you have a look at that video, and that'll help you out. Okay, so any other questions? Are there any plans for magnetic calibration tools for difficult? So there's no plans on adding any magnetic meter tools. A simple application on your phone works. That gives you a good bullseye view, lets you survey the area. You'll see me when I start motion capturing. I'll open the app and I'll put my phone on the floor and I'll start kicking it around and look at the area. I have a horrible back, so I'm not going to be, like Ghostbusters looking for something to go off. I'm just going to be kicking my phone around, and then I just look for spikes. Obviously, I'm looking for 40 microtussles below. Every phone has a magnetometer, just the app that needs to read the magnetometer values, and that's it. If your magnetometer is magnetized on your phone, for example, all you have to do is do the 8, and that calibrates your phone's magnetometers. We all do that when you're using your maps. So just calibrate your phone's magnetometers by doing the 8s, then you're ready to go. Do your survey of the area, then you have an idea what's your environment is doing. So that's the best tool that everyone has in their pockets. Okay, so I don't want to hold on too long for this stream. I will again thank you everyone for joining us today, and we will continue going forward with more live stream videos. Thank you everyone who's joined us today. We really appreciate everyone coming out, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.